Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, salute to Cam Newton, Auburn. His college is going to retire his Heisman-winning jersey, the number 2 jersey. So they're going to retire that jersey.
I feel like that's so late.
Yeah,
I feel like they should have
did that
a long time ago. Like, God dang, what Cam played, 15 years ago for Auburn?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I feel like that should have been happened.
I think so,
we'll drop
too.
on the clues bombs for Cam Newton. I mean, God, you won a national championship, but player of the year when he was with Auburn.
Yeah, they should have been did that.
Should have been did that.
What's up, Morgan?
Hey, y'all. Hey, how y'all feeling on a Tuesday?
Blessed, black, and highly favored.
Good. Auburn said, don't forget about us. You know, we knew him too. We knew him first. No, I'm not going to get too much into that. All right, let's get into what's first on front page. President Trump called yesterday a very successful day so far, or a very successful day while trying to broker a deal to end the Ukraine-Russia war. Trump first had a one-on-one meeting with Ukraine's President Zelensky, who agreed that that they had a very good conversation. And so the two also met with European allies and the head of NATO. The president said he's already spoken to Russia's Vladimir Putin by phone, and then he would call him again following that meeting. Now, Trump and Zelensky said any deal that would involve some part of American security for Ukraine to head off any more Russian aggression. Trump said that he believes there might be a 3-way meeting soon involving himself, Zelensky, and Putin. Let's take a listen to President Trump.
Important discussions as we work to end the killing and stop the war in Ukraine. We're all working for the same goal, very simple goal. We want to stop the killing, get this settled. I'm sure we're going to have a solid meeting, good meeting, maybe a great meeting, and we're going to try and work out a trilat after that and see if we can get it finished, put this to sleep, because this is not since the Second World War has there been anything like this.
He said the meeting was a very good first step, and European leaders suggested increasing pressure on Russia for a ceasefire. And Trump responded by saying a ceasefire may not be needed to bring an end to the war between Russia and Ukraine, just citing that he's had peace deals on the table with other countries, but so that a ceasefire didn't necessarily happen. But meanwhile, Ukraine's Zelensky had positive things to say about the meeting as well. He thanked President Trump and European leaders for being in attendance. Let's take a listen to Ukraine's President Zelensky.
I think that we had constructive, specific meeting, and I'm very thankful to all the leaders who are here, and you help a lot, and so we're happy that we have such big unity today.
I found it very interesting that all those European allies came to the meeting to ensure something productive was done. Is that normal for all those European leaders to come to a meeting like that between, two countries?
I think that if the situation has escalated in the way that it has, for sure. But to your point, I have not seen that recently, fairly recently, that that there was such a need of that magnitude for everyone to come to the White House at that. I mean, seen them talk at summits and things of that nature, but for everyone to come to the White House and have these meetings, they had the meeting in front of the press, and then of course they had the private meeting. It does indicate that the world essentially is worried about this issue.
Because I thought about how when Zelensky was there, I guess the last time, and they sort of like just jumped him. You know what I mean?
They bullied him a little bit.
They bullied him. So the
Sure.
European allies pulled up like, okay, y'all not gonna do that this time. Y'all gonna act right.
Nah, for real. And Trump, he had the coup. He was he's very thankful for them, but it does seem like the pressure is pretty much on
Trump trying to get that Nobel Peace Prize, so he got to act noble.
That's right.
He got to act noble and peaceful.
I was going to say he's definitely looking for the Peace Prize. But again, Trump is hoping to have a 3-way meeting between himself, Zelensky, and Putin soon. Now, Zelensky did say that that meeting is supposed to take place. He confirmed that while speaking to reporters outside of the White House. But he also said that there has not been a date yet set for that meeting. So, of course, we'll keep you guys posted. And to your point, Charlamagne, as you continue to reiterate, it would be nice to see Zelensky and Putin actually have the meeting between themselves, because that's where the conflict lies. It's between their two countries. And well, Trump can try to mediate as much as he can, and we just want to see an end to the conflict. And I think that's essentially what they were saying yesterday as well in that meeting, is that everybody wants peace out of this situation. So,
and I think what else, Donald Trump has successfully made people stop talking about the Epstein files.
I was just about to say, that's so crazy.
He has successfully
over the
made
weekend,
the media stop talking about the Epstein files.
Over the weekend, I said the same thing. I said, listen, this was the first week
you hear it
that
every
I
now and then,
talk about Epstein.
Yeah, you hear it in sprinkles now, but it's not, dominating the news the way that it should be.
Between this and D.C. for sure. Yeah, he got the Epstein files up out of here, at least on the front page news, anyways.
Meanwhile, Trump is still telling y'all that y'all want transgenders to play sports.
Oh Lord,
like, he's still hammering that point home every chance he gets. Boy, y'all don't
All right,
learn nothing. Y'all don't learn a damn thing. Democrats.
That's your front
liberal
page
media.
news for 6 a.m. That's your front page news for 6 a.m. at 7 a.m. We'll talk more about the president and how he's trying to get rid of mail-in ballots. So stick around.
All right. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open again. 800-585-1051. Call us up right now. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get back to some front page news. What's up, Morgan?
All right, so I definitely want to talk about Trump trying to eliminate mail-in ballots, but first let me get into a weather update on Aaron. The first hurricane of 2025 Atlantic season is still a dangerous Category 3 storm this morning. At last check, the National Hurricane Center said Aaron's maximum sustained winds had dropped from 125 miles per hour to 115 miles per hour. Forecasters say Aaron could bring high surf and possible tropical storm conditions to parts of the Bahamas and the U.S. Atlantic coast this week. Now, that includes North Carolina's Outer Banks, where coastal flooding could become a problem by late Wednesday. North Carolina's Outer Banks is also under a tropical storm warning. Along the Jersey Shore, some communities have already banned swimming at their beaches because of dangerous surf conditions the storm is creating. Now, Aaron is currently churning about 750 miles southeast of Cape Hatteras in North Carolina. And again, North Carolina is under a tropical storm warning and could see some coastal flooding later this week, Wednesday. That's tomorrow. So forecasters also say that the storm could produce life-threatening surf and rip currents along the East Coast this week. So please be safe and keep your eye on Aaron. In other news, President Trump is moving to eliminate mail-in ballots ahead of the 2026 midterm election, so he wants this to happen soon. The president shared a post on Truth Social which outlined his plan to, quote, lead a movement to get rid of mail-in ballots, and it targets what he called highly inaccurate, very expensive, and seriously controversial voting machines. Trump has previously claimed that there's widespread voter fraud involving mail-in ballots and pledged to fight for election integrity. Let's take a listen to President Trump's comments on mail-in ballots.
Ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. We, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country. All of the money they spend, it's approximately 10 times more expensive than paper ballots. And paper ballots are very sophisticated with the watermark paper and everything else.
So that's a very interesting move for someone who just, by his words, won in a landslide, like he claims. He did win every swing state, he claims it was a blowout, which it wasn't per se. But that's a very interesting move for somebody who just won the way he won.
So what you're saying is that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, if you won the way you say you did, why
leave it alone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So while the president's post is calling for an end to mail-in ballots, an effort to dramatically overhaul the way federal elections are run has faced legal roadblocks in recent months. So again, I will keep you guys posted on that because you definitely want to know what's going on in your state regarding these midterms coming up and how you can vote. And
Morgan, I told people I believe it's a political coup going on amongst Republicans. Like if you are Trump and MAGA and you aren't sure you can trust, let's say, a Rupert Murdoch and his media machine, from Fox to the Wall Street Journal, and you're not sure you can trust, Elon Musk and whatever mechanisms he can use, to sway voters, then they need to take things into their own hands and figure out how to manipulate elections the best way they know how. And you get, conversations like this talking about ending mail-in voting.
Yeah.
And and map redistricting.
So you're saying it's happening, y'all. Pay attention. Wake up. Meanwhile, in Texas, while we're talking about redistricting, Democratic lawmakers are back at the state capitol to work on a redistricting plan after returning from a weeks-long quorum break. Now, a redrawing of the state's congressional boundaries is seen as a way for the GOP to increase their power in Texas and reportedly limit voting power among Black and brown voters. House Speaker Dustin Burrows says they will waste no time taking up legislation that will redraw the state's congressional boundaries. Let's take a listen to Texas House Speaker Dustin Burrows.
A quorum is present. and it's time to resume the work of the people of Texas sent us here to do. We will move quickly, and the schedule will be demanding until our work is complete.
So Texas lawmakers said that they will also tackle flood relief efforts and plan to change the way Texas public school students are tested in this second special session. So we'll see what comes of that. And here in Washington, D.C., D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser is pushing back on President Trump's declaration that his anti-crime crackdown is making the city safer. Trump called D.C.'s crime statistics fake in a Truth Social post yesterday, adding that the surge in federal agents and National Guard troops is already improving safety across this city, the nation's capital. Now, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser disputed that during remarks to reporters, saying that the increasing number of troops posted in the city doesn't make sense. Let's take a listen to D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser's comments.
This doesn't make sense. You know it doesn't make sense. The numbers on the ground in the district don't support 1,000 people from other states coming to Washington, D.C. You know that. So if you want to know what's happening, the question is really not for us. It's for why the military would be deployed in an American city to police Americans. That's the question.
Yeah, so several hundred people have been gathering for protests across the city in recent days, and those present said the increasing number of National Guard troops in the city is creating fear and anxiety, especially among those who may be targeted for detention and arrests. There have been some arrests in undocumented immigrants, and organizers urge D.C. residents to actually make noise outside of their homes every night at 8 p.m. to show their opposition. And I will say this, too, as someone who's in this area, even though, last week we spoke with Mayor Bowser, and I asked her if it would be safe, or how it would impact them, the city economically, for people like me who come in from Maryland or come in from DC, come in from Virginia, who are very close to the city, frequent the city, whether we're coming in there for work. I'm on Capitol Hill, I come to eat, I come to party, whatever the case is. And I will tell you that the sentiment right now is do not go to DC. So I'll keep you posted on, what comes of that situation. But it's, the sentiment is right now is just not the time. Stay out of D.C. and, and if you are in the city, just to be safe and keep your head on the swivel. And it's sad because you already had to keep your head on the swivel, but now you got to keep your head on the swivel, not only for someone who's supposed to be protecting you, or what you would think is somebody protecting you, but also, but also in addition to the crime that was going on, which to her point, the mayor's point, was on a decline.
Is this a broad sentiment, Morgan, or is it like amongst black people? I can say that that's who I talk to, is black people, black and brown people, and that seems to be the broad sentiment amongst the black and brown collective. Is Trump said it worked? We got them niggas out. We didn't have to build a wall.
We not partying. We not brunching as much. I mean, there is, to an extent, at least during the days, but like partying at night and stuff like that, it's kind of like, nah, it's cool. I'm good on that. Matter of fact, it's back to school time anyway.
Trump
Matter of fact,
somewhere like this right now. He's like, yes.
Shut the clubs down.
Trump said drop on the clues bombs for keeping them niggas out.
It worked.
Oh my goodness.
All right, y'all. So that's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Y'all can follow me on socials at Morgan Media. That's MorganMedia. And for more news coverage, follow us at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com. Thank you.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.